What's going on? Welcome back to the first video of the new year. Happy New Year. It is fucking 2022. And that's so odd to say. I don't know why that just doesn't roll off the tongue that easy, but you know, without further ado, we're just gonna have to get right into this video. You know by the title what it's gonna be. And I went through pretty much everything that's behind me, trying to remember what I got this past year. There are some shoes that I did pick up this past year that I no longer have. Just sold them, had to sell them, or didn't wear them, so I sold them, whatever. But they'll be mentioned on this list, maybe in the audible mention, because that's what we'll start with. Behind me, I have my full collection, and pulled out, I have pretty much all the shoes that I picked up this past year. And this year was a great year, but this upcoming year is looking even crazier. So before we get into that final top 10, here are some of the honorable mentions of, I like them enough obviously to cop them, but they just don't hit that top 10 list. So let's check them out. So now that I put the top 10 to the side right here, here are the honorable mentions. We got the Air Max 95 NYC Taxi. Next on the honorable mention list, we have these two. We have this Nike Air Griffey 2, and then we have these Air Force One lows. Part of the similar collection, there was an Air Max Vapor Max Plus that went with these, and an Air Max 90 that went with these. Some more Air Forces added to the honorable mention. We have these two right here. I want to say these were called the Air Force One low plastic bag. That nice touch, you know, with the rose on the side. Pretty, just a simple all white Air Force One with just that simple touch, and then we kind of have this touch of the tag on the top. And then these just Air Force One low crafts that I grabbed on Nike for a steal. I just think the quality was really good, not to your typical Air Force, so it just has a little bit more. It's a tumble leather, that's why it wears better. Another shoe that I pretty much picked up for a steal, I believe these were on the Bodega website though, so they usually throw out, like, because you know I signed up, I'm a member, you know, you get emails, they'll send out discount, you know, through text, through email. So I received a 10% off and was able to grab these for 10% off. Now yes, just like everybody else, the Dunk Wave was out there, so you have to jump on the Dunk Wave. Nothing crazy though, just a simple, you know, colorways, basic colorways. We got that Syracuse colorway, and then we kind of have the Bass Gray colorway right here, if you can tell in the light. Both of these are just essential colorways. Yellow, orange, purple, just those colors that pop is something that I really love and I love to rock. So having this Syracuse colorway, and pretty much not for a bad price, and especially these were definitely not for a bad price because I picked them up before they released in the US, and I think I got them for like 190 bucks. Two more dunks along with the vibe, you know, the Bodega dunks right here. Absolutely sick, being from Boston, Bodega, you know, the store is right there. Recently going to LA with my girl, I was able to visit the LA location, which is just as sick, just as dope. The ambiance, the aesthetic is crazy. It's creative, you know, it's a different vibe. So to have these, well, and then we have these low tops right here, these championship grade low tops, which I was fortunate enough to finally, for the first time ever, hit on the exclusive, you know, access on the Nike app, where I was able to pick it up at my nearest Nike location, and for 100 bucks to catch these for, you know, retail, absolutely fire. These right here, the Pre-Days, Air Max Pre-Days, this colorway, and it just, enough said, you know, it goes along with the bright colors that I told you I love, especially that orange hit, but more sentimental value behind it. So my friends over that live in New Hampshire, you know, they went, shout out to my guy Joe and Hoy, shout out to Hoy, his wife. She ended up thinking she was gonna take an L. She went for both colorways, these and that beige colorway. He is my, her husband, Joe, he is my same size, so he really wanted the beige colorway, and me, I love this colorway, so she just ended up keeping both, and then I just got these off of her, obviously for retail. Hoy, thank you for that. Last but not least on the honorable mention, we have these Barcelona Dunk Low SBs. Cop these on the Go app. These only released overseas so far. Rumors of them releasing out here were supposed to happen again. I have no idea, but I was able to grab these for a great deal on the Go app. I wore these one time recently when we went to LA, so that was dope. Super comfortable SB compared to the regular, you know, Dunk. Now time to get into my top 10 pickups from this past year of 2021. Let's check it out. Now, to make this top 10 list, it's tough how I wanted to, you know, how to lay them out. It's tough to give them numbers and put them out. They each hold a certain sentimental value or how I got them, or how fire I think they are to, you know, to have. Depends on how they're going to be rated in this top 10, and it's tough. And I'm going as I'm doing this. I didn't pre-plan my top 10. I have the 10, but I don't know the order until right now. And I'm just gonna go off the top, and I think this first number is gonna throw you guys off. So at number 10, I have my Hyper Royal Air Jordan 1s, still dead stock, still unworn. And why I have them at number 10 compared to the other shoes, and so these are still dead stock. There's been occasions where I've been this close to selling them. This close to selling them, but I'm not a reseller, and my girl yelling at me not to sell them. So she says not to sell them, then they're fire, and to have them in the collection must mean a lot. So, but they do, no, in all honesty, I do love these, and I'm glad that I got these. And I think, if I remember correctly, I won the raffle with her, something like that. So at number 10, we have the Hyper Royals. They're absolutely fire. I've seen dope pictures with them, and I haven't rocked them yet, but the quality on these is absolutely dope. I think at this point, they're just gonna stay in the collection, and they're not going anywhere. At number 9, we have the cool gray Air Jordan 3s. Now these go just above those. I did miss out on the normal release date, but then probably a couple months later, I remember Finish Line having just a random restock and jumped on these immediately. I remember always seeing those, but never finding those in a good enough condition to have. And for them to re-release these and to finally have them in the collection did mean a lot. Essential colorway, even though it does have those subtle yellow hits with the red jumping on the tongue, still wearable with anything, still essential. So this is definitely one of the go-tos in the collection when I'm just throwing something on. And still in great condition, but they are worn, of course. Yeah, number 9, I'm gonna have to go with these. At number 8, we have the New Balance 550s in the black, white, and red colorway. Aside from it being such a subtle, you know, silhouette, subtle color blocking, it still pops in its own way, and it's still just, you know, this 550s had its vibe. They had a, you know, they had a vibe. They had some hype a little bit this past year. The comfortability on it, I want to give this a high ranking, because this one of the reasons I got this was because of its comfortability. Like I mentioned, going to LA not too long ago at the beginning of this month, my girl and I picked up some New Balances just to walk around Disney, just to walk around Universal throughout the whole trip. And that's another reason why this goes in my top 10, is because of the amount of sentimental value this shoe holds, with the memories that come along with it, where I was wearing it, who I was with wearing it, my fiance, celebrating her birthday, our 4-year anniversary, and just celebrating my first time in LA and all the experiences we did with her family. This shoe holds a lot of sentimental value. It will never go anywhere, no matter how beat it is, and that's why this is just in the top 10 at number 8. At number 7, we have the Volt green and yellow Air Jordan 1 High. Now this shoe right here was my first pickup of the year. That's why it's on the top 10, but also its quality, its color blocking, its subtle yet crazy pop, and that's pretty much what I go for most of the time when it comes to shoes. You know, just has that pop, but it's also subtle at the same time. But the quality is just amazing on these, and they really didn't have no hype behind it. They really didn't go too crazy off the rip, but I think the price is slowly going up, if I'm correct. And eventually these will be going for a higher price on resale. I think so. So if you don't have these already, this is definitely something you need to grab before it goes up. Here we go. At number 6, you're gonna see a following trend. Another shoe with the color yellow. Now this shoe right here, the Pollen Air Jordan 1 High. Not your typical gold yellow, not the ugly lime yellow or, you know, that lighter yellow, but still a dope tone of yellow, if you want to put it that way. And that's why I threw the yellow laces on it too. So to have these in the collection, this is definitely something that will get a lot of wear. I know I wore this recently on Christmas. Didn't get a fit pick, but you know, when you're enjoying time with the family, it is what it is. There's no time for all that. So these are going to be at number 6, countdown of an amazing year. Now it's gonna start getting a little tougher, but if I had to say at number 5, another unworn dead stock shoe in the collection, the low top neutral gray Jordan 1s. That Nike Air on the tongue, that nice Wings logo on the back, the fantastic, phenomenal quality of leather on this shoe. Why haven't I worn these yet? Because they're so pretty. Honestly, me personally, I want to get a second pair and then I would probably start wearing them, because I know once I wear these one time, I will be wearing these a lot for sure. But we're getting into the winter now, so I think breaking these out now might be a little bit too soon. Maybe once the snow is gone. I have plenty other shoes that I can beat up for the winter. This is definitely one to beat up for the summer. So hopefully I get that second pair. But kicking off the top 5, Neutral Gray Air Jordan 1 Lows. At number 4, we have my second ever off-white shoe. My first one was a Dunk. It was the Michigan colorway. Now we have lot number 14 of 50. This was definitely one that was gonna stay in the collection, because if it wasn't, I would have sold it already by now. But just like everybody who probably gonna start selling theirs to get a bigger dollar. But no, this is definitely one that's gonna stay in the collection. And shout out to my guy Ito, who ended up getting these right before me. These, I was at work, just got the notification, crazy, stressed out, watched the video, go back, and you know, I'll talk about my reaction there. And just jumped on these right away. Crazy that I was able to get that, you know, access to grab these shoes at random. I think that concept was just super dope. So this is definitely why it goes at number 4 in the top 10. Now as we get to the bottom 3, this one's tough. I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. Number 3, we're going with the Air Jordan 6 Carmine. Honestly, I wanted to make this number 2, but that's okay. The other 2 shoes, you know, they're fine where they are. But this is definitely up there, because just being in the sneaker game for so long, this was definitely one of those shoes that impacted me and inspired me to want to collect Jordans, as well as the Air Jordan 1 Bread. Carmine 6s. Seeing these everywhere, seeing these on everybody's feet. I always wanted these, but never, ever could I find, and I say that a lot, but never ever could I find my size at a great price, at great condition for that price, and almost settling, you know, for just beaters, just to have like the colorway, the history behind this shoe, the meaning behind the shoe, you know, the story, is why I wanted so much, whether it had the Nike or not. But then once news came out that they were re-releasing the Carmine, especially with that Nike Air on the back, it was a must-have, guaranteed. My girl, she has the 2014 pair, beautiful condition, great condition. That was a steal, that was luck. I've never been that lucky. The only time I've ever been that lucky was when I got back my Cement 4s last year at a great price, at a great condition. This shoe is definitely one in the collection that if I had to just stay with 10, this would definitely be in that top 10. So this is why it's at number 3. Surprisingly, my number 1 will not be a Jordan 1, but the number 2 is. And this isn't a recent release, but this is something I did pick up this past year. The UNC Air Jordan 1 High. Now, these were picked up at Shop U7 in New Bedford. If you've never heard me mention it before, great store, great people. They're always a great vibe, and they always have great prices. Now, these were used, but a shoe like this, after the documentary and you know, the resale game going to where it went, the resale price is going so high. To grab these for the price I did, you kind of have to grab it used. Now, it was a trade. I did trade a brand new pair of Jordan 1s that were not being worn, that were just sitting there, for these beautiful pairs right here. This is a shoe that I've always sought out for and had the opportunity to grab for a way lesser price back when it first came out, when the sneaker game wasn't ridiculous at where it is now. And to get these back definitely was one of those moments where let's say sneaker moments. I don't want to say moments in life where I felt accomplished, but they were like a sneaker moment where it's like super excited to have this in the collection and super excited to get these the way I did without breaking the bank. So this is definitely one of the shoes, and I've worn these plenty of times since getting them. This is not how they came. I wore these a lot. So So this is definitely one of those, and number 2 in the top 10. Now I'm sure this number 1 is in a lot of people's number 1s maybe, and I know you might say it's typical, you know, expected. It is what it is. I don't care. This goes at number 1 for more than just it being a recent release, something that everybody wanted. The cool gray Air Jordan 11, in its beauty, in its greatness. And I had the older pair. That's why it's my number 1. I had the older pair and loved it, wore it a lot. And unfortunate times, like I've mentioned before, you kind of have to sell just because, you know, the money is more important than actually having to shoot at the time. And I remember selling these, and it is one of the shoes that I've most regretted selling, period. And to have these back in the collection, and to have my fiance, you know, help me get these back in the collection. I haven't worn them yet. I haven't had the opportunity, of course, but these will be worn. These will be kept in the collection. I will not make the same mistake twice. These will not be sold. The beauty behind it, the story behind it, like sentimental value. Like every shoe that I have has sentimental value, and this is why this is my number 1 pickup of the year, and something looked forward to throughout the year, because obviously we just got it recently at the end. So mine is gonna be the cool gray Air Jordan 11 at my number 1 pickup of the year. Now there are shoes that I didn't mention, shoes like I said that I sold. Flint 7s, I picked those up, but I unfortunately sold those. Air Jordan 1 High Zoom with the green and black colorway. I did have that UNC with the suede, the Air Jordan 1 High. I'm sure you can see that video if you look back. A lot of these shoes that I'm saying I've definitely mentioned in past videos. I sold a couple other, but you know, this is just what I have left at the end of the year. And like I said, the beginning of this year, it's just not beginning. We are at day 1 of 2022. Let's see what this year brings. Hopefully it brings a lot of positivity, good vibes, and great opportunities for not just myself, but for my family and for friends and for all you out there. You know, make this year, make it count like always, you know, new year, fresh start. And I know that sounds typical, but you know, if it inspires you to do better, to do great things, then go for it. So hopefully you like my list. Comment below on what you think you would have put in a separate order. Maybe you would have put something else at number 1, number 5, whatever. Comment that list below, what you think you might have done and how you feel about the honorable mentions. Comment what your number 1 pickup of 2021 was, and let's chop it up. I like to see all the comments. So thank you for tuning in to the first video of 2022, and the grind continues. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.